How's it going, everyone? Shifty here, and today's video is a guide on how to get the Deathbringer Exotic Rocket Launcher. Also, I'm going to go over how to get the Catalyst and a few good options on where to complete the Catalyst. Now, I know what you're thinking, why am I doing a Deathbringer guide a year and a half after its release? Well, over the course of that year and a half, Deathbringer has been a pretty bad weapon. However, in Season of the Chosen, rocket launchers got a buff. Then in Season of the Splicer, Deathbringer got an exotic catalyst. On top of that, we have seasonal mods like Argent Ordnance and Warmind's Decree. I also want to mention that there is a quest step that requires you to get Pained Cries, and I have a few tips for that step. Alright, before I get into the guide, if you end up enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. There are two things you need to know in order to get the Deathbringer. First of all, you need to own the Shadowkeep DLC. Second, you need to complete the Shadowkeep campaign. I'm not sponsored by Bungie or anything, but if you are on PC, Shadowkeep is on sale right now until July 8th. I just wanted to point that out in case you were interested. If you do own Shadowkeep and you've completed the campaign, Eris Morn will offer you a questline called Memory of Sai Mota. In order to complete the first step, you need to get the Lunar Spelunker bounty from Eris Morn. Completing that bounty will give you a Firewall data fragment. This will allow you to gain access to the System Core Vault in the K1 Revelation Lost Sector. Once you have the bounty, you need to complete the K1 Logistics, K1 Communion, and K1 Crew Quarters Lost Sectors on the moon. Make sure to grab the chest at the end. Here is the location of K1 Logistics. Here is the location of K1 Crew Quarters. And here is the location of K1 Communion. Now, I'm not going to go through all the details of completing those lost sectors, but once you have completed all three of them, the bounty should be complete. When you turn the bounty in, you will get a Firewall data fragment. When you have this, you can head to the K1 Revelation Lost Sector in Sorrow's Harbor. When you get there, complete the lost sector as normal. At the end, follow the path you see on screen right now. After you process the Firewall data fragment, you'll be on the next step of the quest. Here you'll have to collect necklace scraps. To do so, you need to defeat nightmares on the moon with arc abilities. Regardless of your class, I recommend swapping over to an arc subclass. To complete this step, you can do the Altar of Sorrow event in Sorrow's Harbor. Just make sure when you're fighting the nightmare enemies to try to finish them off with a grenade or your super. There is also an alternative option here. You can always go to the end of any of the lost sectors and take out the nightmares with your arc abilities there. This might be better for you if the Altar of Sorrow event is kind of crowded. Regardless of what you choose, you'll get 2 necklace scraps from the orange bar nightmares and you'll get 3 from the yellow bar nightmares. Overall, you need 20. If you do go the lost sector route, you can complete this in about 3 lost sectors if you make sure to kill all the nightmares with arc abilities. When you finally collect all 20 necklace scraps, you need to head to Eris Morn. She won't be in her usual spot. You'll have to head through the portal right next to where she usually stands. After you reach Eris Morn, there will be a little bit of dialogue, but then you can open the chest to your left. This will give you the Symphony of Death questline, and this is what you're going to need to get the Deathbringer. The first step of this quest says you need to explore the Circle of Bones. To do so, if you open your map, you'll find a blue icon which you can track. All you have to do from there is follow the waypoint all the way until you get to a blue quest icon. This mission is short and will take you to the area where you fight the Nightmare of Fogoth. Here there will be a boss that's pretty easy to take out, and make sure you take out all of the ads in the area. Once you've cleared the room and talked to Tolan, you'll be on the next step of the quest. All you have to do for the next part is return to Eris Morn. Then for the next part of the quest, you have to collect 3 different bones. You get one of them from public events around the Hellmouth area, you get one from completing the K1 Revelation Lost Sector, and you get one from defeating a wandering bone collector on the moon. Now I'm going to start with the bone collector. You're going to want to head to the Anchor of Light area of the moon. When you get there and hang out for a little while, you may notice it says a bone collector wanders in the bottom left corner of your screen. If you see that, look around the area for a bone collector. All you have to do is defeat that bone collector to get bone collector's Marrow. Then I would check your map to see if there's a public event going on in the Hellmouth. If there isn't, head to Sorrow's Harbor and complete a K1 Revelation Lost Sector. At the end of that, when you open the chest, you'll get a Ritualistic Bone. Then all you'll need to do is complete a public event in the Hellmouth if you haven't done so already. Completing a public event there will net you a Festering Bone. If that was the last bone you needed, then you'll be on to the next quest step. For this step, you'll have to defeat the High Conductor Sai Mota in the Scarlet Keep strike. Just load up the strike from the moon map and play through it as normal. The area in which you'll find Sai Mota is at the elevator portion of the strike. When the elevator stops for the second time, you'll find the High Conductor off to the right hand side. Once the wizard is defeated, you'll be done with that step of the quest. Then you'll be on to what I think is the hardest part of the quest. For this step, you have to defeat base combatants to record Discomfort, defeat elites and mini-bosses to record Pain, and defeat bosses and other guardians to record Anguish. It also states that screams gathered on the moon count for more. So in my opinion, Discomfort and Anguished Screams are easy to get. All you have to do is play Altars of Sorrow for some time and you should easily get those two done. The difficult part here is Pained Cries. Of course, you'll gain some progress on this by doing Altars of Sorrow. Both the Sword Knights and the wizards that you need the sword for count as elites. However, there are significantly less of those enemies throughout the activities than there are base combatants and bosses. So I have a few tips for you to complete this step. If you end up like me and finish the Discomfort and Anguished Screams fast, but you still need plenty of Pained Cries, I've got help for you. First, you can go to where you see me at the Anchor of Light. If you get lucky, there may be enemies that are moving against each other. Towards the end of this event, a ton of elites will spawn and this will gain you a lot of progress towards the Pained Cries. I barely caught the tail end of it and I went from 7% to 42%. Now you can't guarantee this will always occur and you kinda need to get lucky to find it, but if you do find it, you should gain significant progress towards your Pained Cries. Another way to get Pained Cries is to do the Fallen Walker event in Anchor of Light. If you make this heroic and leave the first walker but you don't take out the second walker, you'll have a ship that will infinitely spawn elites that you can take out. I'll show a little bit of this in action so you can see how it works. In this clip, I've already made the event heroic and taken out the first walker. This will work significantly better if you're doing the event alone. All you have to do is stand here and wait for the ship to bring in more elites, and you'll easily get this step done. The ship will just keep coming in and dropping elites for you, and as time progresses it will drop more elite enemies. And as you can see, this is how I finished this step of the quest. When you do finally record all your screams, you'll be on to the next step of the quest. For this step of the quest, you have to defeat the Deathsinger Airam. If you open up your map, you'll find another blue icon that you can track. Again, follow the waypoint until you reach a quest banner. Here you'll have to go through to defeat a few enemies to stop a death song, and at the end of it you'll have to take out the Deathsinger. When the Deathsinger is defeated and you've talked to Toland, you'll have to go back to Eris Morn. When you head back to Eris Morn, she will give you the Deathbringer Exotic Rocket Launcher. Now that you have Deathbringer, you may be wondering how to get the Catalyst. Well, if you look in the power weapon section of the Exotic Catalyst menu, you'll figure out you can get it from Strikes, Gambit, or the Crucible. Now, I tried hard to get footage of it dropping on my secondary account. I played dozens of Strikes and Gambit combined and I didn't get it to drop. However, when I got it to drop on my main account, I got it from Strikes. Now, if you do get the Catalyst, I highly recommend going to the Shirochi checkpoint of the Last Wish raid. If you have Forsaken, this is a great spot to unlock Catalysts, especially for heavy weapons. The reason being is you can use a rally banner to max out your ammo. If you don't have Forsaken, you can always head to the Altars of Sorrow event. Just make sure to equip Rocket Launcher Scavenger and Rocket Launcher Ammo Finder. If you want more details on my favorite methods to unlock Catalysts, I will link my video to that in the upper right hand corner. Otherwise, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe. I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.